Canelo Alvarez weighs in at 167 and 1/2 pounds, 167 and 1/2.
Same that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Why?
Canelo versus Crawford is boiling over, like a pot left uncovered, flames too high. Forget the calm, measured stare-downs, these two are turning every press conference into round one, already. The tension in the air. So heavy, you could cut through it with a jab. And believe me, those verbal shots are connecting just as clean as the punches will on fight night. Man. Remember that NYC presser, when Crawford went for the shove on Canelo? Yeah, that was the moment Canelo's respect for Bud vanished, straight into the shadow realm.
What I don't respect about Crawford, his work. He say, I'm not gonna do anything I don't want it, or somebody tell me I need to do, and he do it in that. He tried to back me up, not pushing me, but back me up, and that's why I push.
And now, Canelo's out here claiming it wasn't even Bud's idea. Turkey Alshik whispered in his ear, like, go push him, bro. Seriously? What is this, WWE tryouts, or a championship presser? Canelo's not buying the fake smoke, he flat out said, if you mess with me, it's different. And you could tell, he meant every single syllable.
You pushed him back. Is animosity building, or it's just part of the moment?
You know me. No, I'm not fake. I don't like to do that kind of stuff. I always respect my opponents, but they with me, so it's different, you know. What I think is, Turkey, like she told him, hey, you need to do something. You see so nervous in Riyadh in the press conference. Right?
Here's the funny part, Crawford just laughed, straight up, at Canelo boiling over like a kettle. Didn't even flinch, just grinned, like, that's cute, champ. Bud treated that shove like a mosquito bite, annoying, sure, but not worth scratching. And now? He's out here telling folks he doesn't even need a knockout to beat Canelo. That's a cold flex, like, I'm not here to blast you out. I'm here to box circles around you while you swing at air.
After the press conference with the push, what was your reaction to that?
I just laughed at it, as you can see. You know, I love things like that. You know, it excites me. I'm more motivated than ever now.
Meanwhile, Canelo fans are stressing, like their Wi-Fi just crashed in the middle of a Netflix binge. And the kicker. Crawford said, when I win, not if. That's confidence teetering on disrespect, like showing up to a job interview already rocking the company hoodie. Man, that was the moment the presser stopped being polite and turned into full-blown ego warfare. Canelo locked eyes with Bud and hit him with, you're a good fighter, but me? I'm great.
Fighter or great fighter? Let me know.
I'm great fighter.
So you got your ass whooped by a good fighter, right?
You're a good fighter.
I'm saying.
But I'm great.
Okay.
And the way he doubled down, this wasn't just confidence. It was him saying, I've been in your shoes before, and they don't fit right, champ. Then came the Bible bomb. Crawford hit him with, every time you step up, you lose. Basically reminding the world that Dimitri Bivol turned Canelo into a frustrated redhead, looking like he was trying to solve calculus.
That means you're a good fighter and Bivol is a great fighter, right?
And question.
Well, every time you stepped up, you lost. Great fighter.
I'm not.
Bro, that's not trash talk, that's career talk. You could feel the air shift, this wasn't promotion anymore, this was pride. And now, the fight isn't just about belts, it's about erasing ghosts. Canelo's out to bury that Bivol memory, while Crawford's out to prove he's the real great fighter.
Like I always said, I'm a big fan of Canelo, he's a great fighter, but I think I'm better.
And just when you thought the heat couldn't crank up any higher after that press conference clash, here comes Eddie Hearn sliding in with the promoter logic. Basically, he's like, look, Canelo don't even want this fight like that, because if he beats Crawford, everyone's gonna say, so what? He was smaller. And honestly, he's not wrong. Boxing fans are picky, like restaurant critics with a magnifying glass.
I think it's a fight Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. And Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for Canelo.
You beat a legend, they'll say he was old. You beat a smaller guy, they'll say he was undersized. It's never enough. But Eddie knows this much: if Bivol keeps shining at 175, that's the real smoke Canelo has to walk through. And let's be real, Bivol already handed Canelo a math lesson once. So yeah, Eddie's out here playing chess, while the rest of us are yelling checkers.
I mean, like, you know, if Bivol wins, he could fight him for undisputed. That's a very tough fight. What's the other options? You know, Benavidez is up at 175. Obviously, His Excellency wants to make that fight, so guess we could see.
And while Eddie Hearn is over here playing matchmaker, like it's fantasy boxing, Stephen Fulton jumps in sounding like the voice of the fighters. He's rolling with Crawford, not for the money talk, but because Bud's got that daredevil DNA. He's willing to step up and test himself against giants. Fulton's basically saying, yo, I respect anybody wild enough to fight uphill battles, because I've done the same thing. And you know what? He's right. If Crawford pulls this off, his resume doesn't just improve, it becomes legendary. The kind of story you pass down to your grandkids.
Always went with Crawford this fight. It's nothing against Canelo, because Canelo's a hell of a fighter. I don't know how he is as a person, neither the guy, I don't know how neither of them are as a person, but I like Crawford for challenging himself. Like, that's the type of things I do, and I've done, so I like anybody that's willing to challenge them.
What I love here is Fulton keeping it simple: use your boxing brain, stay sharp, and don't let Canelo drag you into a slugfest. That's real wisdom. Because if Crawford tries to trade power for power, he's walking straight into the lion's den. But if he keeps it slick, keeps it smart, suddenly the little guy becomes the unsolvable problem. And Fulton's not hyping, this is a fighter breaking down another fighter's mindset, and that hits different.
Whether it's money or not, you still have the heart to go in there and challenge the bigger guy. So, but I think it's gonna be, I think if Crawford uses his boxing ability, then it'd be a better fight for him.
So Fulton gave Crawford his flowers for stepping up, and then George slid in, like that one friend who flips the whole barbershop debate upside down. You can hear the conflict, 1 second leaning Bud, the next leaning Canelo, like he's switching teams mid-argument just to keep the smoke alive. And honestly, I get it. We've all done that. Nah, bro, I changed my mind after watching a couple highlight reels at 2 a.m. But George breaks it down like a chess match: if Canelo cranks up that pressure cooker, it's lights out. If Crawford stays slick, makes Canelo chase shadows, then yeah, the judges are calling Bud's name.
Canelo is the pressure fighter. He's got to put the pressure on Crawford. He has to be able to land his big shots. He's seasoned at fighting at super middleweight. He's fought as high as light heavyweight, as we know. So he is accustomed to the bigger punches, the bigger shots. I don't think Crawford can really land anything that's going to trouble a guy like Canelo.
And let's be real, you and I both know the size gap is the elephant in the room. Crawford might be slick, but Canelo looks like he was forged out of dumbbells. George basically laid it out: Bud's got two choices: outbox him like a ghost, or end up treated like heavy bag number 13 in Canelo's gym. And that stoppage prediction? That's George pushing his chips onto the red side of the table. I respect it. But let's be honest, if Bud actually pulls this off, half of boxing Twitter's gonna be out here deleting their old tweets real quick.
Got two ways this fight, can go. Crawford's way of winning the fight, I truly believe, is he needs to outbox Canelo Alvarez. He needs to, maneuver him and make Canelo second guess himself every single time.
So after George dropped his two titans clash breakdown, here comes Duke McKenzie, swinging in with zero hesitation. Forget the romance, Duke's saying Crawford's about to do a number on Canelo. And honestly, I feel him on this. Duke flat out called out Canelo's recent run, saying, "My guy's been looking more pedestrian than prime time, walking in straight lines at rush hour, no head movement." Then he compared Crawford's switch hitting to a nightmare uppercut buffet waiting to happen, and man, I could already picture Canelo's guard getting split open. What I like, though, is Duke isn't sugarcoating. He's saying straight up, Crawford's due for that marquee fight, that career-defining masterclass. And if Bud shows up with the same mean streak he's been talking with at pressers, we might be watching Canelo take more clean shots than a college freshman at happy hour.
Crawford talks with a lot of spite, and he means it. And I think he's going to do a number on Canelo. I really do. And I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if there's a late stoppage. I wouldn't. I don't think he knocks Canelo down, but Canelo could just be taking so many shots. Referee jumps in and stops the fight.
But Duke McKenzie didn't stop at saying Crawford's got the style. He went deeper, like, yo, Canelo might just be cashing in at this stage. And that's wild, because when a veteran like Duke hints you're chasing the bag more than the belts, he's basically saying the hunger ain't the same anymore. And if we're being real, that lines up with how some folks see Canelo's recent fights: flat feet, predictable combos, none of that snap he had when he was bulldozing through guys on the rise. So yeah, Duke just dropped that raw, unfiltered, Crawford might torch Canelo energy.
That's not going to beat Crawford, and Crawford ain't about to lay down or swallow or give up. Nowhere in that fight. Crawford will go, if he gets beat, which I sincerely doubt, he's going out on his shield. He's going down fighting. That's his man.
And then sliding in comes Dan Rafael, and you know when Dan talks, it's like the boxing encyclopedia cracking open. But here's the twist, he's not just geeking out, he's hyping this fight like it's the Super Bowl of the sweet science. He's basically saying, forget the last fights. Forget the flat performances. Once these two lock in, it's a whole different beast. And honestly, I feel him. Yeah, we all saw both guys look kind of mid their last time out, but trust me, when legacy's on the line, nobody's showing up half asleep.
Big event, it's probably the biggest event of the year in boxing. They're both great fighters, they're both Hall of Famers in waiting. As a boxing fan, I'm thrilled because it's a very fascinating matchup with two all-time greats, with the obviously caveat that you got Terence Crawford moving up two weight classes to see what he can do against the undisputed champ.
Dan's breaking it down like this. Canelo knows he's staring at the pound-for-pound boogeyman, and Crawford's treating this like the final boss battle. No rematch code, no cheat codes, just straight skill and pride. Personally, I love that angle, because it tells us one thing: we're not getting a sleepy, go through the motions Canelo, and we're not getting a cautious Bud either. We're getting two legends who understand this fight locks their place in history, forever.
They looked good in their last fight, but I suspect they're going to be a lot more into this fight. You know who you got in front of you in September, and Crawford's saying, I'm fighting the great Canelo Alvarez. Canelo's like, I'm fighting the 4-division champ, pound-for-pound type guy, and Crawford that's never lost. I better be really prepared. So I'm hopeful that aspect that they're really tuned in will help make it a bigger and better.
All right, final wrap. Canelo versus Crawford ain't just a fight, it's a battle for legacy. That NYC shove lit the fuse. Bivall's ghost still hangs over Canelo, and the pundits are split. Hearn's out here playing chess, Fulton's giving Bud his flowers, Duke's screaming Crawford's coming, and Dan Rafael's hyping the stakes sky high. Bottom line: ego, style, weight, and history collide. Expect either a tactical masterclass, or a pressure-driven clinic. Either way, careers get defined. If you enjoyed the breakdown, do the channel a favor, like, share, and subscribe to the Champ Fight. Drop your pick in the comments, and tell me which round ends it. I'll be in the replies arguing with you, so bring receipts. Hit the bell, follow us on socials, and we'll see you in the next one. Same time, more fire.